Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create some really awesome scroll art pieces for your home or for gifts using brown craft paper. So these are super affordable. They're super easy, and I just can't wait to show you. So let me show you two that I finished, and then we're going to do two more. This is one I popped out in about 45 seconds. And then here's another one, which we're going to redo this one because I used gray chalk paste, and now that I'm looking at it, I see that it's hard to read. So I would either use black or white. We're going to use white. Okay, so like I said, these start with brown craft paper. As you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. All right, this is probably it's around 30 inches long. And we're going to be doing two. We're going to be doing this stencil that says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me." Revelation 3:20. And then we'll be doing this one. "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Philippians 4:13. It's an awesome stencil. Both of these are super versatile. Okay, so what I needed to do first of all was decide how wide did I need my paper to be to do each one of these two stencils. And you guys are about to think I'm really silly, so get ready. So I decided that about 20 inches was wide enough, and I just took a ruler and I drew a line, and then I cut it, and now I'm going to cut this off at the bottom. And it does not need to be straight at this point because it's going to be hidden inside of the roll. Okay, and I do need to cut this other one off because, you know, we're going to use this for the second one. So let me get that done. And then I'm going to show you what I do with this roly-poly paper that's hard to manage. Oh, and I do want to recommend this roll of brown craft paper, I think, is from Dollar Tree, and it's pretty thin. So the heavier weight, thicker you can get, the better it's going to work. Seriously. All right, so I'm going to grab my iron and my little ironing board, and we're going to iron our paper. This is what I have found is the best way to make it manageable, because otherwise it is just too hard to keep it from rolling on itself the whole time you're working on it. My iron is set at about cotton, no steam, and I'm going to iron the whole entire piece. And just pull this curly Q out. And then we'll re-roll the ends. We're going to use hot glue. This is my kind of a project, oh my gosh, because I love making something out of just about nothing. And this brown craft paper, people use it to send packages and that kind of thing. But you can make some beautiful scroll art. Okay, so there's the big piece of paper. Look at that. Isn't that so much more manageable? Let's do this little one. So do you guys think it's weird that I am ironing my paper? I know I've showed this before, so anyways. Okay, I think that one is good too. And I'm gonna put my iron away and turn it off. And let's move on to the next step. Okay, I think let's do the smaller one first, and then we'll do the larger one. All right, and we're going to use this stencil, but you could use any stencil that you like. I'm doing Faith this week for the most part. So these are just two of the many Faith stencils that I selected from everything that you can get at magnoliadiy.com. And I'm going to basically put it towards the center of my piece of paper. And let me tell you this important thing, and if you don't hear anything else, I definitely want you to hear this. A brand new stencil is going to be super sticky. These green ones from magnoliadiy.com. So you need to fuzz them. And honestly, I recommend that you use them first on something else. Like do a fabric project or something. Because if they are too sticky when you use them on paper, they can have a tendency to pull up the top layer of your paper. This is my tacky towel. This is the side that I dry my towels if I'm in my stencils if I'm in a hurry. So I can fuzz on this. I can fuzz on something like this t-shirt I'm wearing, on a pair of jeans, on a low lint tea towel, just not on a big fluffy bathrobe or, you know, fuzzy towel. Okay, so I'm going to say that's good. And we're going to lay it down somewhere towards the middle. I'm going to scoot my camera back just a little bit. Okay, so I think for this week, I do have a variety of things that I'm working on, some fun things, but we're going to do a lot of Faith things as well. Okay, and I just want it to be basically straight. Okay, so then you're going to want to really get your stencil adhered firmly to paper. And the other thing is you don't want to use too much chalk paste, and I'll show you why. This is why. If you use too much chalk paste, then it kind of makes your paper wrinkle, and it just, you can see where it is. I used way too much when I was doing this one. So that's my advice for that. And now I'm just going to make sure that this is completely down good. Okay, and I'm just using some good old basic white chalk paste. Alright, and I'm going to take some, this is what it looks like, it's creamy like yogurt. I'm going to take some blobs to put on here, but I'm not going to set them where the openings in my mesh stencil are. I'm kind of setting them off to the side. And then I'm going to do my best to get my chalk paste on and then pull off the excess, and then don't keep going over and over and over it. That's hard for me sometimes. too much chalk paste through the holes in this mesh onto paper. And of course I have way too much, as usual. So I'm putting it all back in my little pot. And let's quick pull off the globs. Make sure that we have everything covered. Oh, something's going on with that S. Hope it looks okay. Okay. The good thing with this kind of a craft project is if it's a big fail, this is probably 10 cents worth of paper. So it's not a huge loss. Ooh, it looks good though. So this is the peel and reveal and squeal. That's what my friend Melanie says. Oh, the S looks good. I was afraid. This is good. Okay, I'm throwing my stencil face down in a little tub of water over here to the side until I can get out to the kitchen to clean it. We'll let this dry for a few minutes while we're working on the other one, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how you create the scroll. And also, I'm just using jute, but you could use beaded jute, you could use ribbon. It's totally up to you. It's personal preference, what you want to use. So let me throw this over here. And before we do this Behold stencil, I want to show you how beautiful this stencil looks on this gorgeous tray. So you can do this Behold stencil on a lot of different surfaces. A lot. You can do the I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can do that one on a lot of surfaces as well. Okay. So I'm going to fuzz this one. Good too. And I want to be on the right side of this paper. These bigger stencils are a little more of a challenge to handle, especially if you're brand new. So one thing that you could do is just do the door first, and then take your stencil off, let that dry, and then come back and do the words separate. I wouldn't necessarily cut this apart, but it might make it easier to manage if it feels like when you're new to stenciling, these stencils feel like brand new babies, like they're so breakable, but they're really not. It's just like when you had that first baby, or a friend or family member had that first baby, and first time you held it, you're like, oh, I don't want to break it. These stencils seem like that, but they are not as fragile as you would think. Okay, let me get all this junk out of the way. Okay, and I do want this to be relatively centered and straight, but I can fix it if it's slightly not the same distance top to bottom. I can just roll that part a little tighter and it'll be fine. Okay, and we're going to come back and really get every single bit of this stencil adhered to our paper. But if you hopped on late, what I'm showing is how you can use just a super inexpensive brown craft paper. This particular one came from Dollar Tree, $1.25. I do recommend that you look for something that's a little heavier weight. It'll be nicer to work with. But I'm showing how you can turn this into some beautiful scroll art. Super easy. Really affordable, just amazing. Okay, so I'm just getting any bubbles that might be underneath my stencil. I'm getting those out. I'm not always this conscientious with getting my stencils down, but for this project, you do want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles. Okay, so that is basically what it looks like. The size you're going to cut your paper depends on the size of the stencil that you're using. So let's start with the words. And so I'm going to put some blobs on here, but I'm not putting them right on the words. I'm putting them, you know, around the words so that I can pull up from there. And I'm going to apply it, get it on, and then I'm going to scrape the big clumps off. And then I'm going to stop and not keep going over and over and over it. That's when you get too much chalk paste pushed under your stencil, and it kind of has that ripply effect that I showed you guys just a few minutes ago. Okay, there's that word behold. Let's start these words. This is a big stencil. So it's going to take me just a few minutes to get all this on. Okay, so now let's pull the big clumps off of the word part. I'll put back my little pot. Just looking to see, is there anywhere that it's obvious that I've missed? No. Okay, so at this point, I can pull up this side just a little bit to see how it looks. And then I'm going to gently let it lay back down. And the reason why I would do that, oops, I got some on there. Oh well, it just, oh wait, that's part of the plant. Okay, that'll be just fine. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want my mesh, my chalk paste, to dry in the mesh of my stencil. Ooh, I thought that I really did a big mess up here, but it wasn't. It was just this door is gorgeous on this stencil. Oh my goodness. It has so much detail in it. You could even do a project where you just do the door. It looks like an antique old door, so I think it would be pretty on a project. Okay, and now I'm moving over to this outside these plants. Just grab, are there any big clumps here? So who has made these scroll type of art pieces before? I was looking at Etsy for something like this, and you know what, of course not all Etsy dealers are all the same, but, and probably that some of theirs were hand lettered, but they were like $25, $30, $35, $40, $50 or more. Oh, okay, well I did get it a little bit thick. It's hard not to at the bottom. So I'm going to throw this in my tub over here and push it under. My hands. And I'll show you what this looks like. I think it's going to be beautiful. Let's come back and let's work with this one now, which it is probably mostly dry. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, I like the scrolls when they're rolled in towards the scroll part is more visible, I think, when it's rolled in towards the thing that you're looking at. That's just my opinion. And I'm going to just put some glue on here and roll my scroll into it on each side. If you want your scroll really tightly rolled, you can do that. Look how super simple that was. Let's put just a teeny bit of glue here in the center. Okay, let's do the bottom. You could go the opposite direction if you wanted on this part. Okay, so what I'm talking about is this. See how I rolled both sides in towards the center? You don't have to do it that way, but this might still be a tiny bit wet, so I'm going to roll this the same direction, just so that I don't accidentally smudge my project. This just comes together so quick, it's just amazing. These glue strings off. Cindy Gray says she loves it. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, we're not finished, but if you do like this, I would love it if you would consider sprinkling this video to your Facebook page or whatever social media you use. If you have craft groups that you're involved in that allow you to do that. Let me see where I have lost my jute. It's down here, of course. I pushed it off my table. So you could use, let's fix this right here. You could use jute, you could use ribbon, you could use a big piece of rope. You could use absolutely whatever you want. And see how there's that hole right there? I'm literally just going to thread my piece of jute through it. Grab it and do a double knot. I like to hang these pretty tight. In other words, without a super long drop from the spot where they would go on a nail or something. So I'm just going to do a double knot right here. Let's cut these tails a little bit shorter. And I'll get it all centered. What do you think? I mean, this whole project is probably, by the time you use one use of the stencil, which they're reusable many times, a little bit of chalk paste, a little bit of hot glue, a little bit of jute, and then the paper. This is under a 50-cent project, if even that, and I just think it's lovely. And it's super light. I have to fix that little piece of glue when I'm done. It's super lightweight, and you can hang it on. You could even tape this up. It's so lightweight. Okay, let's work on this bigger one. And I'm just looking to see, do I have enough? Yeah, we'll make this work. Okay, let's roll the top first. Super easy. This is so pretty. And I can see now that I did not have it centered very well, but that's okay, because we're going to just do this bottom roll tight and with only like 1.5 loops or something. My little scrolly part though to be straight. I like this color so much better than the gray. I'll show you that in just a second. Isn't that pretty? This is a big stencil. You can do obviously any, you could do a seasonal stencil, whatever appeals to you. I just am wanting to do a bunch of projects this week that have scripture or at least a faith theme. So I just pulled out a couple of my favorites, which this one is definitely one of my favorites. It's called Behold. And then, of course, I love the Philippians 4:13. That's an awesome stencil, too. This could even be hung with like a command adhesive on a door, on a glass door coming in the house, on a mirror. Let's get these long strings off. And you could do beads or something like that if you wanted. Let's put a little right here. But what do you guys think? Isn't that just amazing? What you can create. So there's the Behold. Here is the I Can Do All Things Through Christ. I did it twice. I think I like this one a little bit better because I had more room. But they're both awesome. And then here is the Behold that I did as a practice before I came live, I used gray chalk paste, excuse me. It's not paint. I never use any kind of paint on my stencils. This is chalk paste, and it's called Cool Gray. And it just, in person, I can read it, but not as well as the white. So I would do either white or cream, possibly, or black. So what do you think? Aren't they awesome? Awesome sauce. Kathy Watson says she loves them. They're beautiful. Oh, thank you guys. Every now and again, I like to throw in something just completely different. And using brown craft paper to create a surface is different, I think. But I do have a lot of really fun things planned and coming up, things I'm working on already. So if you haven't already liked and followed this page, I would love it if you would do that. It's DIY Dreaming, and it's somewhere up here if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would also love it if you like this, if you would consider sprinkling it to your social media. What else? If you want links for these stencils, or for chalk paste, or for this, what else did I have? Yeah, this is basically all the ingredients. If you want links for any of that, just let me know and I will get you a direct link so that you don't have to go to my magnoliadiy.com website and search for these. I like to make it just as easy as possible. So I will do my usual. I will get pictures. I will put them here in these comments so you can come back and look if you would like. I'll also put them separately on my page. They could be easily changed out since they are low cost and easy. Yes. In fact, you could do something for every season. Like you could make something like this for Valentine's Day. If you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, for that. For spring, for Easter, for Memorial Day, for Summer Beach, for 4th of July, for Memorial Day. Whoops, Memorial Day is earlier, Labor Day is after summer. For fall, for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and because they're just pennies a piece. You could even roll them up and put a rubber band around them and pull them back out next year. Alrighty, well, you guys have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to go sit down in my comfy chair and start reading all your comments. Do this, or say something to me in the comments that will slightly improve your odds that Facebook will ever show what I'm doing here to you again. And I would love to have you come back. So. Alrighty. I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining me today. Bye. And Happy New Year to everyone. Bye.